Hey guys, it's RG here. Welcome to a War Thunder video. In this game, we're going to be playing on the Battle of Britain map. We're going to be playing as the German Air Force, and we are going to be flying out the Bf-109 G2 Trop. And so, in this clip, as you see here, I'm going to run no gun pods because, excuse me, on my fighters, I love having the fighters like the 109 where it rolls really fast and has a really good turn time. And so with these gun pods, it doesn't really make a huge difference with what you use on them because it only affects your turn time about a second or two, and you'll worry a little bit, but just that little bit can mean the difference between you getting a kill and you ended up getting shot down. So I typically don't run gun pods, even though they are the MG 151s, which are quite possibly the best cannons in the game. And there goes our Focke-Wulf A5 into the drink. So we grinded this out during this most recent War Thunder event for the object. And as you can see here, just helping my friend grind through the event and his German planes, as this is his first real tech tree with planes he was going through. And he just kind of went to go experiment with different airplanes to figure out what he likes best. And he loves the G2 Trop with the gun pods. So for him, he really just likes the firepower overall, and so even if it costs him, like a meter or so climb rate, it doesn't really matter. So going back to the G2 Trop, so this plane, has a 20-second turn time without the gun pods on it, and around a 19-second meter per second climb rates without the gun pods, of course. And it's very, very good plane. It goes very fast. You can go about, I'd say 700, 750 in a dive before you rip your wings. You can mostly outturn any allied plane except for those Spitfires. And if you'll see later in this clip, the American, I believe it's an American Zero. Might be a Russian one. I'll have to check up on that. And so, as you'll see here, essentially with my friend in the back with his gun pods, he's gonna at first go for bomber hunting. And so, what we love to do when we're doing this teamwork like this is we essentially work from top down as we try to eliminate all the people up high, and then you work your way down, because working from top bottom, that's just a whole lot more time consuming, because when you go, you can at least lose altitude, at the end of the day, and it's a lot harder to gain it than to lose it, essentially. So just working from top down is a lot better than the other way around. So we're looking for bombers. We're just checking down there to see if anyone went low, because we're not really seeing anything. And in a minute here, a Russian PE-8 is going to pop up here. And that's lovely for my friend here. And so the thing that's very, very dangerous about these PE-8s and any of the kind of higher tier Russian bombers such as this or the Tu-4 is they have very, very deadly turrets with the gunners on those. They're very, very dangerous. So what I'm doing here is kind of risky. So I'm coming up from underneath it, which is about the best thing you can do because the gunners aren't really on the bottom. As you see there, I scored critical hit, and I actually took out, I believe, his vertical stabilizer. So you're going to see he's going to go up into a loop, and my friend is going to get the kill here. And so going back to that, they have very deadly gunners, and so what you want to do with these kind of really scary big gun bombers is you want to hit them from up high and just go one straight pass, and just don't even get on their tail. Just go one straight pass. I didn't do that, but that's just because I feel confident with this plane, because this is a very, very good plane. It's probably one of my favorite planes in the Germans besides the Heinkel 219A. It's probably my favorite plane, and I'll probably make a video on that later and explain why that is my favorite plane. So going back to the video, we kind of assume, because it's the Allies, that there's going to be at least a British Spitfire that's going to go to space. And I believe that me and my friend here hears somebody that's beneath us. And as I go to turn around just to scan to see if there's anyone over here, a Spitfire mark, I believe it's a 2B, pops up, and he did what was probably the worst thing ever. Was he just stalled himself out, and I potato my shots, but we get him eventually, because those 151s just do some amazing work. And so with that Spitfire, what his biggest mistake was, once he came up for my friend, he should have done a roll and gone straight down, but instead he just continued on that climb excuse me, and just stalled himself out, which is this is probably the worst case scenario for him to end up doing. So that was basically a free kill with communication right there. And so we're scanning up here, we're trying to see, so we're trying to evaluate, so we're saying, hey, like, there's this many dudes down here. We'll check the scoreboard in a minute. I think we thought that there was maybe one dude that we just didn't see that was down there that we thought maybe could have been up with us. So what I'm gonna do right here, which I recommend for any of you guys, is you kind of don't want to go straight down into a dive because you kind of lose all your altitude at first. Is if you don't know if there's like one more or two more dudes up high, is you kind of want to do like these spiral dives. So you end up gaining some speed, so if you have to go back up, you can go back up, and you have the benefit of at least maintaining some more of your altitude rather than you just going straight down. And so we're going to do this, and you also want to go engine off for these, and you kind of just want to cycle it from about 0 to 70. And that just makes sure that, like, in case there is someone, you can just, full throttle it. And I believe that me and my friend here in a minute are going to hear somebody beneath us. And this is probably what's beneath us will be the biggest threat to us this match. So we're looking, we're thinking, hey, we're pretty sure that there's these dudes are the last dudes. And at this point, we're just going, full dive. We're pulling back up. And if you can look on the radar, I believe, if you look behind us, there is an I-16. And these I-16s, even though they're very small and they don't really look that menacing, they get two 20mm Shavoks. And they have like a 16-second turn time. They're just devastating. So what you really want to do on these is just boom and zoom them and get to an elevation where you're above them. So as you can see, I'm going to try and essentially bait for my friend right here. So I kind of, loop him up, and we're going to... And then the dude just continues going in a straight path, and my friend here gets, I think, a pretty good engine shot on him, and yeah, he just disintegrates him with those 20s. And yeah, all you gotta do, man, with these German planes is you just gotta sit above them, climb up, and then just get a really good 1-second burst on them, and they're just like disintegrated. And so, as you can see there, sadly, we're gonna go try and save our Stuka there, but at the end of the day, that happens. It's a video game. You can't always help your teammates, but it's always nice to go and try and help them, because you never know, at the end of the day, they could end up helping you clutch up the match. It really depends. So back to the scenario. So we're trying, what we do is you always want to isolate the enemy, because if there's two of them together, they can work together and try and get one of us alone. So you always want to get one of these dudes alone. And I get a lucky critical on the Spitfire, and his vertical stabilizers are gone, and he goes straight into that town. So this last one's this 0. And these things, their 20mm are really good at kind of close range, so you kind of want to stick far away. They get a very, very good turn time, the 0s do, so you always just never want to turn with them. The only plane I've really turned out with the 0 with is the 5.7 Spitfire, the LF Mark 9, I believe. That's got a 14, I think, 0.5 second turn time, so that's about the only thing I want to turn it with. So you can see here the 0 tries to turn in, and me being the potato at this game just mess every single one of my shots. So instead of turning there, I thought about it. I'm like, nah, it's not going to be worth it. I'll just end up dying. So you always just want to make the smart move here. Don't rush into it, because if you die, you lose a big chunk of that line and RP that you could have gotten. So staying alive is the biggest important thing here. So the 0 is getting straight from my friend. I believe he gets a fuel or oil shot at him. I'm pretty sure it's a fuel. And he keeps them low. And again, I just miss these shots. Like, I should be hitting these. He should be in right there, but I just potato it. So we keep him going. I believe that he's going to turn. I'm going to go do a loop because I feel like comfortable enough to do this. Go back onto the dude. And then I just kind of follow him, and my teammate's behind me, and I just tell him, hey man, stay back, I'll try and bait for you so you can get this kill. And so I believe at some point, I think it's right about maybe here, I believe, is the 0 is going to want to do a right-hand turn right here, and he goes into it, and I just miss my shots, and he could have rolled down out there and probably gotten me. And I do the stupid thing and go into the turn with him, do the scissors, but he was just so concerned about my friend right here that he just went in a straight line, missed my shots again, and just get a little spark hit right there. And so I continue on, and now the dude's on my 6. And so in these situations, even though, going in a straight line is probably not good for your survival, if you just go in a straight line, it makes your teammates not like G-lock. And so my friend right here, because I just baited him out. My friend comes over, swoops down, catches him on fire, and gets the kill. So that's how you effectively teamwork in War Thunder. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.